want to thank my sponsors this month, PB Design Masters, a collaboration of 3 individuals with the shared vision of delivering the highest quality in residential and commercial design and luxury real estate development. Since opening their retail showroom on Peruvian Avenue in 2019, the firm's deep roots have only continued to grow in Palm Beach. Building with heart and design with passion, PB Design Masters redesigns exceptional homes and state-of-the-art commercial design spaces, making them one of the top full-service interior design firms in Palm Beach County. For more information, log on to palmbeachdesignmasters.com.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Perfectly Palm Beach. This is the place for great conversation with interesting people in Palm Beach. And today I'm so excited to be on location with my good buddies, Jalaeikhoo and Vasile, who are the owners and founders and incredible designers of PB Design Masters in Palm Beach on the corner of Peruvian. And I know all of you have driven by and seen their beautiful entrance to their store and their great little cart outside that has great gifts and accessories that lure you inside. So hi guys, welcome to Perfectly Palm Beach. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having us.
So I'm so happy that we're inside the shop today. It's a little cloudy in Palm Beach today and it was a little noisy and we were afraid it might rain. So we came into your beautiful retail store. So you guys have been partners for how long?
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years. It's so great, guys. That's a good partnership. That means it's working, right?
Yeah.
So how did it start? Explain to everybody.
You go.
I actually started with a retail store in Palm Beach Gardens about 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And Joy was one of my first clients there. And we did her house. And then Joy was a healthcare executive developing medical practices. So we started working on those together.
Okay.
And then we did huge jobs together.
So you were in the medical field and you were designing clinics, right?
I
You
was
were running
developing,
clinics, developing
healthcare
them,
facilities.
and you stepped in and designed it. And then it
we
was
both
just
were-
magic from there.
Yeah, and then we started doing, we were buying and fixing up homes and selling them. And so this just coming to this space here just seemed like a natural transition for us. We needed a home base.
I love when things happen like that organically, but I think a lot for interior designers, it's great to have a retail store because it's an instant reflection of who you are and your style, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us guys about the launch of the retail store and why it was important for your business.
Yeah, I mean, I've always sort of had a retail. I find that it's basically two businesses, but they work hand in hand and one feeds off the other. So just getting people to come in the store is like eye candy.
Right.
And they get a better sense of you as a designer to get your style and what your taste is. And it doesn't necessarily mean that everything that we do in here is the only thing that we can do in their house. But at least it makes them comfortable to say, I like that. I think, I love this pillow or this furniture. Can you bring that over to my house and see what it looks like? As opposed to only looking at books or, sample swatches.
Or asking a client that you don't know very well, what's your favorite color? I mean, where do you really start?
Exactly.
I mean, you have a carpeting that you love or a painting or something that gets the project going.
Sure.
This way they walk in here and they say, I want that pillow. I love this. I love that. I love that. Can you do my whole house?
Exactly. And, a lot of times it may start off with just a very basic thing that we're doing for them.
Right.
And then they like our energy. And then they're like, okay, can you do this room? Then do that room. And it evolves into, the whole house, or we do a little bit for them for one house. And then, they ask us to come up north and do their home up there. So it is nice that having this is like our anchor.
Right.
And we just build off of this.
And it's a way to show all the design trends, right? I mean, if there's something that, if orange is the biggest color here, then you can pull in more orange accessories, right? So do you both buy for the store?
Yes.
We always go together on these buying trips.
You do. And you go to New York, you go to the big Java
We
Jenner
go
Spring
to,
Show
yes,
and
High
Yeah.
Point,
High
New
Point,
York,
right.
Las Vegas. We go to Atlanta a lot,
Mhm.
just because it's closer and it's
Right.
easier to get to.
Right.
Obviously, like any other designer could share this information. It's been difficult to get a lot of things,
Mhm.
even fabrics or wallpapers. But we
You mean
always,
supply chain issue
of
problems?
course,
Yes.
Okay.
because of this pandemic. So there's always long waits on a lot of things that we would like to get, sooner than later.
Right.
But we've been telling each other, it's been so true. I think that clients are coming
Mhm.
around. I think this is becoming a universal, information that they know things will now take a little bit, longer.
It's nice. It takes the edge off.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
not like I'm having a party next
Yes,
Thursday. I want this done in
exactly.
3 days.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the nightmare client, right?
Yeah.
In 2020, right after the pandemic, when we all
Mhm.
opened back, and we had a lot of clients who were coming from New York. Carl had done their homes many years ago, or we both were involved in doing things for them. So they were calling and saying, my niece is coming and she'll be living in my house with her kids.
Oh,
We got
yeah.
a lot of those things.
Yeah, interesting kind of questions that you
happening
don't
in
usually get.
2020.
Mhm.
And they were coming in to live in relatives' homes with their young kids.
Mhm.
And they were asking us to make it workable soon, now,
Right.
this
So
minute,
interesting, those trends. Yeah.
But we were doing our very best, and they were amazing. And I think we didn't know how to be patient, but I really do believe after the past couple of years, we all have learned that we need to be patient.
No question. There's no question.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the trends here, guys, because I'm sure that doing a house or a condominium in Palm Beach is different than obviously doing a house on the North Shore of Long Island.
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
Mhm.
it has, this has, different kinds of, materials, different natural materials here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether you incorporate all that into your designs or not, but
Yeah, we try to. And, one of the great things that we've noticed recently is that a lot of like the fabric houses and the wall covering houses are coming out with new, not necessarily totally different, but like, everything recycles, even like in fashion, what's old is now new.
right.
And basically some of the same thing, but what we see right now is wallpaper is really
It's
hot.
huge. I know. I have samples all over my dining room.
Yeah. And so what's nice getting back to like with the store is that, because we get samples and we put them out in the store. And so people wouldn't necessarily know that that's available. And then they come in the store. Yep. They
See
can
all these?
touch and feel.
Right. And see the colors. Because
And,
it's better
yeah.
to see in person than online.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then they're inspired.
Right.
And that has been really noticeable.
So wallpaper.
Wallpaper.
Is there a certain color here? Or do you think are you seeing people, focus more on neutrals or
It's
what
not
are you seeing?
neutrals.
It's
It
not
used
neutral.
to be
Used to be,
neutrals.
right?
Yep. Now people, I think because of the pandemic and what they were, like their understanding being in their house and making it, a comfort zone. And so they want things that make them happy.
Mm-hmm.
So we noticed lots more color.
Color makes people happy.
Mhm.
So we're just coming off of Kips Bay, the big show house that was here, just closed this past weekend. And what I found so interesting walking through there was that literally every room utilized the ceiling. It became a really important part of, the design concept.
Yeah.
Are you guys seeing that?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of times like the show houses are designed to give that big wow factor.
Yeah.
So, we may not do, it's unusual to have a client that, you can go that extreme with.
Mm-hmm.
But yes,
Right.
we are noticing that they want, like, especially if they see something like that.
Right, like the naked men on the lampshades.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know about that.
But yeah, people are definitely, I would say, more open
Yeah.
to that. They want that different look or that wow factor.
Right, exactly.
Like,
So, okay, guys, we started talking about this. We started this interview talking about the partnership. So for the people that are listening, that are thinking about going into business, I always like to kind of always go to the entrepreneurial or the business place because everyone, you know, that I talk to that listens to the podcast says, oh my God, you really helped me with this information, or I was thinking about doing this, but I'm going in that direction. Talk about partnerships, because I think oftentimes partnerships are really hard, but you guys have this beautiful division of labor that really seems to work. I'm not saying that, you know, you don't argue because partners argue, but
to be totally honest, we never argue.
Yeah, amazing.
And you know, I think that
it's because she's really easy.
Exactly, and she's
we're both very type A
so obliging. No,
it's always the woman. Let's face it.
You know, the really interesting thing is we're both very A-type personalities.
Yeah,
that's what.
And I think the biggest factor and the best part of our success is that we both have the same work ethic. We both can't stop until something is actually perfect. So we're not fighting that. You know, we both are on the same energy, and we always want to get to the same finish line.
And so, and Carl, your background is design, your background is business.
Yeah.
So you probably learned a lot from each other over the years, and there's got to be a lot of synchronicities that now kind of that you see, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is what ultimately led us to where we are right now, because we were doing all these projects together, and they were huge, you know, like 12,000, 15,000 square medical practices, which, you know, we literally built from the ground up.
Square feet, 12, huge.
And
big spaces.
Yeah. And so, you know, lots and lots of components go into that. You know, you're not just dealing with someone's house, you're dealing with what you're capable of doing. You know, there's a lot of restrictions. You know, X-ray rooms have to have lead walls, and you know, so there's lots of different components. And so, you know, we worked so well as like a team together. You know, and then Joy always wanted to be involved in design. You know, I think she's just a natural at it.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just really melded together so well.
You know, it really is what makes or breaks a business oftentimes.
Absolutely.
So I think it's interesting to kind of like focus on that partnership, because every time I walk in here, you guys are having the best time, and you just seems, you know, to get along so well. So Carl, you bring up an interesting point. The commercial projects are different from the residential projects, obviously.
Yes,
so one of the things, you guys have been doing a lot of residential stuff because there's so much going on the island and up north of, I mean, all of Palm Beach County. I know you're sort of working on more development projects. Can you share some of that with us?
Sure.
Yeah.
Joy?
Yes, so we develop properties. This is something, as Carl touched upon, we started doing that together back in 2017 and 18. We started before the pandemic, and we started doing a couple of large residential properties, and they were very successful. We enjoyed doing them because up to that point in time, we were doing commercial, but they were very successful. And we kind of told each other, you know, we should be doing more of this. I never thought that we'd be building homes and get involved in developing real estate. But honestly, it started from there, and then we found this out about each other, that we can be very successful, and we love doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I think the element of starting from scratch works for us. And I think that's what we like. We would love to work with a clean slate. Right. And when you look, you know, when you work with clients, especially for interior design, residential, you know, they already have furnitures and things of that nature, which we love. We work with,
because a lot of people coming here bringing a lot of stuff with them.
But you know, when you start developing properties, we basically are knocking walls down. We do it, you know, the way we like it, and we work with a couple of really talented architects, and they always understand our vision, which makes it easy. Right. And we've really been enjoying doing that.
And there's a lot of that going on here, although we must be coming towards the end of that in a way, right? Because there's no inventory here. And I think I literally saw a headline in the paper in West Palm Beach, there's one single family home left or something. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It is. And we kind of scaled back a little bit last year. We had some big projects, and then we finished those up and sold those properties.
Mhm.
And then we took a bit of a break, but we were, it was good because we were busy with the design
Yes.
element, with this retail design business. And then, we were missing it.
We missed it.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah. And so, it wasn't like we didn't want to do it or there just was no inventory available. So I said to Joy, listen, we need to figure out how we can make this work for us. There is no inventory, and maybe there are no huge jobs where we go and gut house and totally remodel it, but maybe we go in and do more cosmetic stuff. So that's where we're at right now. We've just recently bought a few properties that won't get, total gut jobs.
Right.
But,
do clients want different things at different ages in terms of design?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know my children aren't living in my house anymore, and there are different things that I want. So I can see how things change as you get older.
Yeah. It's funny. I was just out to dinner with someone last night, and she was older, and we happened to be talking about, she was upset because she has this huge collection of silver. And, and she said she loves entertaining and putting that out. And I said, well, how do your kids feel about that? She's like, they don't want it.
They don't want any of it.
Yeah,
I
they don't want to be bothered.
Sad. Right.
So, for her, she doesn't understand like that things change and this is the trend.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the great things for Joy and I is that we're not locked into a specific way of doing design.
That's so true about the two of you guys. You can do anything.
Yeah.
You can do anything.
And we love doing different things.
And if you look at our portfolio or, what we've done in the past or what we do for clients, each job is different, and I know and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this. It's just not our type or our preference to do the design that way. I love approaching each project in a blank slate and finding it takes us maybe a week or two to understand the client's personality. And I love that part of the process. It's like we're not just selling them the same recycled design style, that we're comfortable with.
I know my parents couldn't have cared less what age we were. It's like, you don't touch that and you don't sit there, and they didn't care. But now I think, young families that are moving here, there's a big open floor plans because they want their kids with them in the kitchen, and nobody wants to miss the view. So everything is opened up. But for the older people that are here, and there's still lots of older people coming here from, all over the place. I mean, what we love about Palm Beach is that the ages range from the youthquake, right? The young 20-year-olds that are here up to 90.
Yeah.
And, the deep sofas that different vendors sell. When you're 80, you can't get out of that sofa.
Yes.
But if you've got a young family, everybody can pile on with big bowls of popcorn and watch movies. That's the kind of stuff that I'm sure you're kind of seeing, that they're different needs.
And also,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also the fact that I think people want to be in their homes more now.
Right. No question.
So they
I want to, don't you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. And you want to make sure it's comfortable.
Right.
So those are big design decisions,
exactly,
that people are making.
Yeah. Well, I love coming in here. It's the happiest shop.
Thank you.
It's so colorful. It's so approachable. It has so many textural, cool things in here that you can add, to your home, or they're great, gifts for friends when you are going to people's homes. And I love the fact that you can come in here and look at all these samples.
Yeah.
It's inspiring.
And we want people to come in and do that.
Right.
We encourage that.
To look and touch.
Yeah,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We were just saying that the other day, Joy and I, like there was somebody in here and she literally was so excited. She was touching everything. And we were like, that's awesome that she
felt comfortable enough to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And like we don't want it to be, so uncomfortable and unapproachable, because that's our personality.
Right.
Yeah, that's just not you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, anything that we need to share with everybody? Anything coming up that's exciting that everybody needs to know? Or like, what's next?
Well, we can't say too much. We're looking to expand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Good.
and I'll just say that.
Okay, good.
We're reaching
It's in the
outside of
works.
Palm Beach.
Awesome.
And
That sounds
so we're
good.
very excited about that.
Good.
And we've got some great projects coming up that we're working on here in Palm Beach.
Good. Oh, we can't wait to see the finished
Yeah.
products. So one thing that we ask every guest is, if you have friends coming into town to Palm Beach who haven't been here before, what do you do with them?
You mean as far as where do we take them?
Where do you take them? How do you entertain them for the day and the evening? Like, what are your favorite go-to places that you are like, oh yeah, if you're in town, you got to go see this, you got to go eat here. What are your go-tos?
You know, it's funny. I let Joy talk because a couple of things. You know, so the restaurants are amazing here.
Yes, they're
and you know, and it's hard to always get in to some really hot restaurants.
Right.
But you know, I would say one of like our favorite, you know, we have our favorite restaurants, but one of our favorite things to do is, you know, obviously take people around Palm Beach to see the architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So true.
And, you know, we're so blessed to live amongst this spectacular,
right?
You know, the buildings and the landscaping.
Yeah. And there's so much variety. I think people are always sort of surprised that there's so much like Spanish architecture
exactly.
here.
Mediterranean.
Right? Yeah, Mediterranean. And
but, you know, I mean, so one of our highlights would probably be going to the Breakers,
mm-hmm.
you know, taking them around and just, you know, walking through the hotel or you know, walking on Royal Poinciana or Worth Avenue. You know, those are the typical things. But
iconic places. Yeah.
But, you know, I think for the most part, it all depends on who's coming here, that if it's family or, you know, I think a lot of people also are revolving around spending time in their home,
mm-hmm.
you know, and then just we're so, I think, thankful to be back, to be able to spend, you know, time with our families.
Right. Yeah. Well, Beach A's literally right here. You're right on the corner. You're at 326 Peruvian, everybody. And around the corner is Via Beach A, which there's a lot happening on Via Beach A.
Exactly.
So
one of the biggest reasons we wanted to be here was because we're sandwiched in between Beach A and Renato's.
Right.
And we basically, you know, are standing front and center.
So when I need to get a table,
I don't know if I can help you that much.
You don't have that kind of swing. I bet you do. Yeah. It is a great location, but you're right. The food here is really wonderful. And those are perfect days in Palm Beach. Very iconic to go down Worth Avenue and the Royal Poinciana Plaza. And
you know, and it just even getting in the car and driving along the ocean, what could be better than that?
I know. It's so scenic and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You are transported. You think you are someplace else, maybe Saint-Tropez or someplace. It's so beautiful.
And, you know, I think that's probably been one of the biggest reasons why we've had such an influx of new residents coming here, is because, you know, I grew up here and I always understood how spectacular it was.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But I think once the pandemic came and people were finding a new place, like where we can be and where the weather is good.
Right.
And if something like this happens again,
those boxes get checked off very easily here.
And then through that, people discovered, wow, this is an amazing town.
Yeah.
I want to be here.
Right.
You know, whereas I think California and New York had those, you know, wonderful places where people just were. But I think Palm Beach now has been truly discovered.
No question. I mean, Palm Beach has that, you know, big small town feel, right? So you've got a great ballet and a symphony and lots of wonderful cultural things here. Amazing interior designers, beautiful stores, great food, all the great schools, beautiful environment, good weather, all those amazing things that, you know, are the big draws here. But I think the best thing about Palm Beach, and you guys reflect that, is there's people here are very approachable and it's very warm and inclusive, and you don't feel like you can't step in there or you can't touch that or it's way too precious. everyone is very welcoming, and there's a real, I mean, I think the warmth is just pervasive everywhere. So I do love that. And you feel that way when you walk in here. So I'm so happy that we were able to do this on location
Thank
in
you
the
for
store
coming
today.
here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So
I love
thrilled.
you guys and love what you do. And
Thank you.
if anybody wants more information about PB Design Masters, log on to pbdesignmasters.com, right guys?
Yes.
That's it.
Yep.
So thanks everybody for joining us. Stay
you.
tuned for more wonderful things from PB Masters throughout the month on Perfectly Palm Beach.